One of the most exciting aspects of each and every season is seeing rookies come up out of the minor leagues to make a huge impact on their club. Last year, a class headlined by top picks like Macklin Celebrini, Matvei Michkov, and Cutter Gauthier was upstaged by Hutson, a player few expected to win before the year. This season is set up more like the year before, in which there's a massive favorite expected to win. But that doesn't mean it's a guarantee, and doesn't mean that it's not going to be a close race. So today, let's take a look at the Calder Trophy Frontrunner, the Contenders, and the Longshots, and break down what kind of impact they can have on their teams in their first seasons in the NHL. Ivan Demidov is the clear favorite for the Calder Trophy. His projected odds of winning are far above any of the next closest competitors. Demidov has the perfect combination of factors going for him. He's going to be playing top 6 minutes while on a top power play on a competitive team. It's a team that's got plenty of offensive talent, also in one of the NHL's biggest markets, which doesn't hurt. But most importantly, he's got the talent, as he's shown in the KHL and in the 7 NHL games he's played to this point. He's super creative, a natural playmaker with a degree of shiftiness that helps get him open or find the open man easier. His incredible hockey IQ, quickness, and vision have already looked to be translatable to the NHL level. Anything shy of being a key contributor on a playoff contending team would be a disappointment for such an offensively gifted talent. It's a clear gap from Demidov to the rest of the incoming rookie class. Nobody else is expected to be a star player right away like he is. To be fair though, few have had the opportunities at the NHL level like he has yet, and maybe they'll adapt better to that than people think. One of the most interesting names among the Calder contenders is Buium. Buium fell far below where many thought he had deserved to go in the 2024 draft, which speaks to his talent, given that he still went 12th overall. Before the draft, Buium and the University of Denver won the Frozen Four, marking Buium as a champion. This season, Denver pushed to double overtime of the semifinals, losing to the eventual champion, Western Michigan Broncos. Buium was one of the driving factors in both years' runs, ranking first and second in the NCAA in defenseman scoring in the respective seasons. He's too good for college hockey, and now moves on up to Minnesota. In the 4 playoff games he played at the end of last year, Buium averaged 13:30 in ice time. It's not an easy assignment to deal with the Vegas Golden Knights in the playoffs in your first taste of NHL action. He'll get a much better chance to start the season. With Jonas Brodin out to start the season, Jake Middleton is the only other NHL caliber left shot D on Minnesota's blue line. That means a minimum top 4 role, playing alongside guys that can really complement his skill set. The talent is there, and the opportunity is there. The Minnesota Wild have never really been an offensively oriented team, but maybe Buium can help spark a change in that. There's not many third-round picks who can make their debut 5 years after their draft and generate this kind of hype. Alexander Nikishin is a very unique case for someone to come over to the NHL after so long and remain with the team that drafted them. For the past 4 seasons, Nikishin has been in the KHL, developing to become one of the best defensemen in the league. Over the last 3 seasons, he's won KHL Defenseman of the Month 6 times, and led all defensemen in scoring 2 of the 3 years. People wondered if his staying in Russia for so long meant he didn't want to come to Carolina, if instead he could be a huge piece in a trade for them. But now, Nikishin comes over, a fully prepared pro, to make his full NHL debut. Nikishin's combination of offensive talent and physical force is unlike anything Carolina has on their blue line. They have Jacob Slavin and Keandre Miller around to shoulder much of the tough assignments, but when it comes to his Calder chances, that's also a bit of a double-edged sword. The Canes already have a gigantic investment in 2 top left-handed defensemen. There's no need or rush for Carolina to get Nikishin going right away, and that'll hurt his chances. After enough time, though, he should start making the dynamic plays necessary to get noticed around the league. The Calgary Flames offense was a huge problem last season. Zane Parekh is going to have a big part in the efforts to fix that. Parekh joined Ryan Ellis last season as the only two defensemen in the 2000s to score 100-plus points in an OHL season. The year before, he scored 96. Offense has never been a problem for Parekh. He's been the best offensive mind on basically every team he's ever played for. It got him drafted in the top 10, and ranked even higher than that by many. But the NHL is a whole different animal. It looks like a certainty that Rasmus Andersson will be gone by next year, maybe as soon as mid-season this year. The future of Calgary's right side belongs to Parekh, but for now, he's behind both Andersson and Mackenzie Weegar. He's still the most dynamic offensive defenseman they have, and if he's not on Powerplay 1 to start, there's a good chance he'll get there by the end of the year. Jimmy Snuggerud might have the best shot of any rookie. It got him 5 goals in back-to-back World Junior tournaments and 20-plus goals in each of his 3 seasons in college hockey. It also got him a spot in the Blues' top 6 in the playoffs, where he was an important piece in their almost upset of the Jets. He's projected to stick in at least their top 9 for the next season, in the mix with one of the best pure playmakers in the NHL. The Blues had a pretty great offense last season, and it could be getting even better. Being one of the key shooters on a competitive team is going to get Snuggerud plenty of goals. College hockey has steadily been getting better, and being the best in the league means even more. The last 3 Hobey Baker Awards were given to Adam Fantilli, Macklin Celebrini, and last season, Isaac Howard. Howard's made waves more than many other prospects. He was a story at the draft, he was a story throughout college, and he was the biggest story when Tampa Bay announced that they didn't expect to be signing him to a pro contract. Tampa's loss is Edmonton's gain. There's more than enough flash in Edmonton already, and how Howard plays off of that is going to be hugely important. For the first time in a while, he's not the star. He'll be right alongside Edmonton's superstars, expected to take on a supporting role. He's bounced off other stars very well, playing fantastic at the most recent World Juniors. If he can bring that same level to a line alongside Edmonton's top centers, he'll have a huge impact. There are very few defensemen drafted first overall, even fewer that make the league and play right out of the draft. But the last 2 to do it were Rasmus Dahlin, who finished as a Calder finalist, and Aaron Ekblad, who won the Calder. Looking to become that caliber of rookie next is Matthew Schaefer. If Schaefer has any chance, it's on the fact that he's just purely way too talented. He just turned 18, and doesn't even have all that much experience at the junior level. But there's a reason that, despite the injuries, he went first overall. And there's a reason that, despite the lack of experience, he's making the team. Schaefer's the future of the Islanders franchise, a project whose long-term future is much more important than instant success. He may still be a long-shot bet to win the Calder this season, but he's about as safe of a bet you can make to become an elite defenseman in the future. Few late-season rookie additions were more exciting last year than Ryan Leonard. Playing a middle six role on one of the league's best teams, Leonard did fine. He showcased a lot of the grit and physicality that made him a popular player and prospect. But across his 17 in-season and postseason games, he scored 1 goal, an empty netter, and produced 1 assist. The Capitals are still trying to be competitive this season. They don't need Leonard to be one of their leading scorers. He's going to make exciting plays, he's going to be in the mix of a lot of scrums, but it's going to be a tall task for him to compete on the score sheet with the other rookies. Michael Misa scored 62 goals and 134 points in the OHL season. His track record is exceptional, and that earned him the honor of being selected second overall in this year's draft. He's got a well-rounded game and he can score. Maybe he should be in closer consideration for the Calder, but the situation and narrative are really stacked against him. All the national focus is probably going to remain on Celebrini, on a team not many are watching. Misa would have to be incredible, on a team that's probably slotting him in as a middle six winger or a 3C, and where he'll be on the second power play. He's going to have a long career as a star forward, but it might be tough to make waves right out of the gate for him. Sam Rinzel was excellent in his short run of games for the Hawks at the end of the season. Chicago threw him right into the thick of things, and he stuck through it. Rinzel looks like the type of stabilizing presence that can become a huge piece of the Hawks' future. For the purposes of winning the Calder, though, he's on a very weak team, and Rinzel's never projected as a volume scorer from the blue line. He might be more of a hardcore hockey fan favorite, not a league-wide consensus top rookie. But who knows, he already exceeded expectations early, maybe he can stretch it out over a full season. Of these 10 rookies, surely one will emerge as the Calder frontrunner. It's Demidov's award to lose at this point, but none of these guys have had any extended time in the NHL to adapt and prove what they're capable of. Some of them haven't played a single game in the league. There's an inevitability that guys will come out of nowhere, be surprising with how good and ready they are. No one would have predicted that Dustin Wolf would finish ahead of Celebrini and Michkov prior to last season. No one would have thought that Brock Faber would legitimately challenge Connor Bedard for the award. The rookie race is always fun, and the talent pool is as good as ever. With the first true debuts coming for all of these players, it's not long now before we'll get to see the beginnings of some future superstar careers.